It is 8:24 and still to come. Don't come back from that relaxing vacation with a crook in your neck. Does that ever happen to you? We're talking about ways to prevent suitcase spine with a doctor. It's up next. I'm asking you here at 8:37, do you have an upcoming summer getaway, whether it's a long trip by plane or maybe you're traveling by car? You don't want to suffer from back and neck pain. It's known as suitcase spine. Here to explain, please welcome Dr. Nicholas Ruppert, who is a chiropractor with The Joint. Welcome, doctor.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
What a name. So tell me what this is all about, this suitcase spine.
It's a busy time of year for travelers right now. A third of Americans took a summer vacation last year, and about 90% reported some type of neck or back issues or both. So we're going to talk a little bit about structure-wise, what happens when you travel, and maybe a few pointers as well.
Okay, let's start when you travel. I actually just hopped off a plane yesterday from it was only an hour, but I didn't feel any neck pain. But for people who are traveling a longer distance?
And maybe so, absolutely. So what happens when you go on a vacation, you usually lugging around these heavy suitcases and luggage, and that will really torque on your spine back and forth, then followed by sitting down for maybe a few hours at a time. And so you take that weakened structure and you add weight on it for quite a few hours, the disc will kind of flatten down to where it wants to balloon out on the nerve and blood vessels.
Oh my goodness.
And so that's usually why the muscles start to tighten up. You feel very rigid. It's hard to get up and get moving around after you get out of the car.
So doctor, that's when you feel you can't move your neck from right to left, right? Someone calls your name, you kind of move your whole body.
Exactly. It's hard to change lanes.
Okay, so aside from the suitcase, when we travel, people tend to take a lot of backpacks as well, and I know that the cool kids wear just the one strap around their shoulder. Is that not good, bad?
Well, you want to distribute the weight. First of all, when you have a suitcase, you want to keep it under 30 pounds. Do you really need more than 30 pounds of gear, right? Most people do. But anyway, the backpack's a little bit better for your body. You could distribute equally across both shoulders. It takes a lot of pressure off your back. So that's one of the few things that you could do to make it easier. Use one of those guys. If you're going to be putting these in the overhead bin, make sure and ask for help, so that way you're not wrenching down your back as much.
Once you visit a place like The Joint, or you tend to remedy the problem, they also say to drink a lot of water. Should you do the same thing when you're traveling?
That's very helpful as well. You just want to be better about your ergonomics to make it easier, to tell you the truth. Most people don't do that. A lot of people, when they sit down, they have this thick wallet with all their receipts from 1980 in their back pocket, and that will really shift the pelvis one side more than the other to put more pressure on the back and lower nerves. So try not to do that, to sit upright in your seat. The most common thing we've been seeing lately is people that drive with their arms stretched out. A lot of upper back and neck issues under that shoulder blade. That's the most common thing we've been seeing this past month. So don't drive like this. Scoot your seat up closer to the steering wheel. That way you could have your hands on the steering wheel. It's a little bit easier to get around like that. Another tip for travelers is to stop and stretch, wouldn't you say? Absolutely, yes. You want to, every chance you have to stop and fuel up at a gas station, or as soon as you get off the flight, you want to walk around. You want to bring some more blood flow to that tissue, make sure it stays a little bit more pliable. It doesn't become as rigid and tight. Wow. Okay. Well, good to know. Good information. And then, of course, because you're hauling around all this heavy luggage, and don't forget to take your cell phone out of your pocket. When you said wallet, that you sit on it, I tend to sit on my cell phone, and I know a lot of folks do the same thing. All right, doctor, thank you so much for coming in. Very helpful information. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks. Jose?